What's up, everybody? Breezy here. You already know what it is. So today I'm looking at GBPUSD and I'm on the 4 hour time frame. And today's lesson is gonna be based on supply demand, which is support and resistance, technical analysis, what is price action, trends, downtrends, uptrends, consolidation, all that. So let's jump straight into it. So guys, when it comes to supply and demand, and in this case, which is resistance and support, right? So for example, we've created resistance up here by rejecting a couple of times and leaving those wicks. And again, guys, when price rejects, it shows you that it doesn't have the strength to continue with that trend, right? And again, supply and demand, whereby support and resistance is always there. Just because you do not see it doesn't mean it's not there, right? And this is the simplest strategy you'll ever work on, because trust me, you just have to wait for price to create some kind of rejections, and then you work on your setup, and then you wait for the outcome, right? And then moving on, guys, what is price action? So you got to keep in mind that price action is composed of volatility movement, which is caused by buyers and sellers, meaning every time you see a normal market of buying and selling, it is called a volatility movement. For example, y'all can see that price pushed up to the downside, and whereby we were coming down at first, we were creating those lower lows and lower highs, and hence y'all can see we're creating those lower lows and lower highs, and eventually price rejected. And what happened? We created this strong movement to the upside, and that just didn't happen because it just happened. Trust me, it's all buyers and sellers, fundamentals, technical analysis. That's why you have to keep up with the currency pair you're trading fundamentally, whereby you have to know what's happening to the economy, what's happening to the rates. Are they going to be cut? Are they going to be increased? This and that, inflation, whether recession, you got to know everything about that. That's why it's so important to follow the news, right? So moving forward, guys, you gotta work on knowing technical analysis and fundamental analysis, because trust me, both of them, they are both really good qualities to have as a trader, right? So moving on, what is an impulse move? Impulse move is an overall directional trend, meaning when you understand impulse move, you must approach it as a swing trader, right? What is swing trading? Now, I guess a lot of y'all don't even know what is swing trading, day trading, scalping, right? So I'm just gonna break it down to you so quickly, right? So when it comes to swing trading usually happens on the 4 hour time frame, because that's where you hold the trades for a certain period of time, right? So swing trading is when you hold a trade for more than 2 days or even weeks. However, it has a limit. You cannot hold it forever, right? So when it comes to swing trading, whether day trading, actually when it just comes to trading, right, you gotta focus on corrections, pullbacks, and a retest. For example, hence I said in my previous videos, right, that in every impulse, there's always a correction. For example, in every impulse move, right, there's always a correction. In every impulse move, there's always a correction, and whether correction or retest, and for price to continue pushing in its normal trend, right? So that's what we call a pullback or a correction, right? So what is a correction? A correction is a short-term reversal in a trend. For example, this is what we call a reversal right here. This is what we call a reversal right here. Hence, y'all can see we created some kind of a trend whereby we're retesting, or some of y'all may call it as a pullback, right? Whereby we wait for price to continue, and then hence y'all can see that price came to that support that we created down there. We wait for it again to push to the upside, right? And hence y'all can see that we also have some kind of support down here, whereby it makes sense for price to retest and continue pushing to the upside, right? So moving forward, guys, if we are in a uptrend or correction, we would obviously be in a sell, right? We would obviously be in a bearish market, right? And to enter a sell position or a correction, it is a short-term reversal. Overall, it's a buy trend. To enter that, you gotta wait for price to come to your support. And to enter a buy, you gotta wait for price to come to your support. To enter a sell, you gotta wait for price to come to your resistance, right? So I just explained what you need to know in a few minutes, and I just hope y'all have learned something. Please like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment. 1,000 subscribers, we coming. Trust me. End goal 1,000. End goal 100,000. End goal 100 million. Trust me, guys. There's a lot of money out there. It's already printed. We just gotta go get it. Cheers. I'ma see you in my next video. And remember, hard work pays off, but sometimes you gotta work smart. Cheers.